If your matte eyeshadow always looks patchy, uneven, or just refuses to blend, you're skipping critical steps. Let me show you how to fix it. So let's get started with today's video. The biggest mistake I see? Skipping primer. Matte eyeshadows or any eyeshadows need something to grip to, otherwise they look patchy and fade within hours. I'm using the Sigma eyeshadow base primer and I'm applying it to my entire lid. Then I'm tapping it in with my fingers to make sure it's evenly distributed. Don't skip the lower lash line either. This creates a smooth, even canvas for your eyeshadow to stick to. Now here's where technique matters the most. I'm starting with a fluffy brush and a light transition shade. This goes into the crease first, on the outer corner, and I'm blending it back and forth. This transition shade is your safety net. It helps other colors blend seamlessly and prevents harsh lines. Never skip this step. I'm applying that same transition shade to the lower lash line as well. This connects the top and bottom, making the entire look more cohesive. Any eyeshadow, especially matte ones, should always be built up slowly. If you pack on too much color at once, it'll look muddy and patchy. I'm going back in with more of that transition shade, building up the intensity gradually. Now I'm switching to a slightly tapered brush. This gives me more precision. I'm using a deeper shade and focusing it on the outer corner, blending it into the crease. Notice how I'm not dragging the color everywhere. I'm placing it where I want it, then blending the edges. That's the difference between muddy eyeshadow and professional looking eyeshadow. Now I'm taking that deeper shade to the lower lash line and blending it upwards into the crease. This creates dimension and makes sure the top and bottom connect seamlessly. If your eyeshadow starts looking disconnected, this is probably the step you're missing. Do not forget that important outer corner of the eye. Here's a technique tip. When you're intensifying color, pat it on. Avoid swiping it. Patting deposits pigment exactly where you want it without disturbing what's already there. I'm using this method to build up the color on the lid and in the crease. Controlled, intentional placement is the way to go. Now I'm using an even smaller brush for precision. I'm taking a deeper shade and focusing it only on the outer corner and halfway into the crease, not the entire crease. This is what creates depth. If you apply dark shadows all over, your eyes will start looking smaller and muddy. Remember, placement is key. I'm bringing that deeper shade to the lower lash line and blending it back onto the lid. This technique ties everything together and creates a soft gradient effect. Most people skip this step, and that's why their eyeshadow looks unfinished. This is what the eye looks at this stage. We have built depth, dimension, and a smooth transition. I'm going back to my slightly larger brush and using a mid-tone shade. I'm applying this from the darker outer corner towards the center of the lid. This creates a soft gradient from dark to light. The key is patting it in, then blending it into the crease to soften any edges. With a more precise brush, I'm deepening the outer corner even more and extending it slightly into the crease. Then I'm switching back to my blending brush to make sure those two shades melt together. Matte eyeshadows especially need constant blending. If you stop too soon, it'll look harsh. So make sure you're taking time at this step because it will make a big difference. I'm going back in with my precise brush again to deepen the outer corner one more time. Notice how I'm using soft patting motions. I'm not rubbing or dragging it. Rubbing causes patchiness. Patting gives you control and builds color smoothly. With dragging motions, you're only going to move color all around the eye, and that will not look flattering at all. Now I'm using a flat shader brush and a very light, almost white shade. I'm patting this onto the inner corner and blending it towards the center of the lid. This brightens the eye and creates contrast with the deeper outer corner. Here's a step most people miss. I'm taking my precision brush and blending that light shade into the crease and the previous transition shade. On brown skin especially, light shades can look ashy if they're not blended properly. Take your time here. Blend until it's smooth and intentional, not chalky or patchy. I'm going back in with more of that light shade to brighten the lid even more. This makes the eye look open and awake. Now I'm blending everything one last time. The light shade, the midtones, the deep shades, making sure there's absolutely no harsh lines anywhere. This is the eyeshadow at this stage. Smooth, dimensional, no patchiness. Now we are adding definition. Now I'm going to be using an ultra fine liner brush and the cream black shade from the palette to create a very thin line along my upper lash line. Now as you know, I have hooded eyes and I don't really like a thick liner because it makes my eyes look smaller and heavy. But if you prefer a thicker line, go for it, no problem at all. However, the main thing to keep in mind is to keep it as close to the lash line as possible. That'll make all the difference. As you can see, I'm extending this thin line towards the inner corner as well. This is meant to elongate the eye even more. Always take your time when applying eyeliner because precision always matters. One of the most difficult steps is nearly done and you can see how the entire look is coming together. Let's proceed to the next one. I'm using a flat definer brush with a black eyeshadow to soften and blur the liner. We do not want a very harsh, drawn-on look. We want it to look soft, smudged and intentional. I'm rubbing the eyeshadow over the liner gently. You're not trying to erase it, just soften the edges. As I've said before, blending is key. So therefore, a soft, smudged eyeliner always makes the look more expensive than a very harsh line. I'm using the e.l.f. Smoky Kohl eyeliner to tightline my upper lash line and apply it to my waterline as well. This will make your lashes look fuller and your eyes more defined without looking overdone. I'm blending out the kohl liner so that it doesn't look harsh. You can even take some black eyeshadow and smudge it very softly on the lower lash line and then change over your brush and blend that out to make it even more softer. Then I'm using a mid-tone eyeshadow on the lower lash line to tie everything together. This creates a soft smoky finish without looking messy. I'm curling my lashes with the Refer 20-hour lash curler. This opens up my eyes and makes my lashes look longer. Finally, I'm applying the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal Mascara on my top and bottom lashes. This completes the look and adds that final polish. As you can see, this mascara is great for length and volume as well. It's not clumpy at all and you can safely apply 2 to 3 layers, which will give you that dramatic fanned out eyelash look. You can see how beautiful the lashes are looking. This has become my go-to mascara. And we have come to the end of this tutorial. If this tutorial helped you, save it for later. And if you want more eyeshadow techniques that actually work, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.